not muted. The camera's off. And I can watch it here, but I need to mute it. Oh, I didn't make a joint, fucking hell.
We're live. Good evening.
I've still not made a cigarette. I'm never ready on time.
We know
I'm terrible.
That.
You obviously wait. Don't know where mine is.
It's outside, I think.
Oh, I'll leave it there then.
Amber leaf.
Yeah. What's yours?
Pueblo, you ever have
No.
that? Got no additives in it.
Has it not?
I'm trying now if you're thinking about giving up ciggies, that's...
Yeah, but is it weak nicotine? Because I need that really strong stuff.
I don't know. Try and see what you...
Alright, I'll give it a go.
You've been smoking it with any that I've gave you.
Perfect. Yeah, so anyway, tonight it's week 3 of the Aaron and Zannie show, and we're gonna be talking about ism, which isn't apparently an ism, and you're ignorant if you say it is. And we're going to be talking also about the medical industry and how brutal it is and how it treats people, and how it can really heavily affect people's whole lives. So there's Aaron, and we're going to be joined by a real conspiracy fairy, Linda the Ganja Fairy.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody. So, we've got one viewer, so good evening, viewer. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, we're going to talk about transgenderism, or transgender. We're not actually talking about transgender people. We're talking about the thing that it is. Anyway, and is it normal? Is it a mental illness? Is there another explanation for it? Is there an agenda behind it? Is it morally right? Should doctors be allowed to, hack pieces off people just because they say they feel like they're in the wrong body or whatever? So I don't know where to start. What should?
Well,
start at the beginning. What different genders are there, or sexes?
What is transgender? So I did have a look at what it is. See, I thought it was personally when a man or a woman feels like they're not the sex the body has decided that they are. So if they've got female reproductive organs, they don't feel female, they might feel like they should have a penis instead.
Right. So if a female child is wanting to be a male, they don't want to have periods, they don't want to have puberty, they don't want to go through, and so how will that stop? That gets stopped by stopping that child going through that.
Yes, so they could potentially do that. That could be a way of doing it if the child was really adamant. But,
well, I think no matter what, you've got to go through puberty, and it's a traumatic process in anybody's life, whether you're male, female, or if you think you're different. So there's no getting around that. No matter what you do or what drugs you take, I don't think.
But we were saying something before about case studies of reading about once these young people are going through thinking and wanting to change their sexuality and then going through all these hormone treatments, having these hormone treatments to further down the line.
You still there?
oh yeah, can you not hear us?
Yeah, we're just breaking up a little bit then.
Okay, so Linda Ganjaferi was just saying that there are some case studies out there of people that have been, you know, thought that they've felt they're in the wrong body and gone to the doctors and been prescribed hormone blockers and the opposite hormones to what they naturally would get, and then some years down the line regret that decision, but it's too late at that point, because at that point, after all those years of the chemicals and the hormones and everything, their own reproductive system's fucked. They can't ever have children themselves or anything like that.
Yeah, because they're artificial hormones as well. They're not like a natural thing.
Yeah, where do they harness these hormones from?
Yeah, they must just make them in a laboratory. Because I think they all are artificial, and they do have like detrimental effects on them in later life.
You think I've heard that they get these hormones from aborted fetuses? Get these hormones from animals? Get these hormones. It's like
possibly could, because things have changed recently, haven't they? I mean, because they're harvesting all these aborted fetuses and things, they've probably got access to hormones and stuff like that now.
But it's about.
Well, this is what happens, right? If you are a woman in that situation, you go for an abortion, they want you to sign this thing to say that they can take some of the fetus for scientific research to save people from going through miscarriages and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what they do.
Well, they want to
So
do
yeah,
stem
they
cell
do
research.
harvest this stuff. So that's quite frightening.
Well, they're paying a lot of money for these aborted fetuses. If you look at the market, you know, they're paying quite a lot of money for it. But there must be some reason why the price is so high for such things as you talk about now, you know, taking out hormones and things.
Yeah, I believe as well it's not just the aborted fetuses. I believe the umbilical cord of a baby is cut way too soon, way too quick, and that's used as well. And then when we're giving our children injections, if these injections have got hormones, so many hormones in, female hormones in, and we're giving that to a 6-week-old male child, how is that 6-week-old body meant to fight all them female hormones? And then when that child is grown, then we're like, well, why is this child confused? Well, because it's 6 weeks old, we stabbed it with a load of female hormones. Same with the other way around, I feel. And I think it's very bigger than it ever was before. And I think it's
there's definitely an agenda there.
Something's definitely different than just the natural misshapen of babies being born that way. I just don't see.
Well, it's like the line get blurred.
Say that again, Aaron.
Yeah, you're right, but the lines get blurred. I mean, there's 2% of the population that ain't born with the right chromosomes, and they're like splitting over from XX for females and is it XY for male. Some will be XXY, XXXY, and so there is 2% apparently of the population that are like hermaphrodite, which will be born both sexes, and then as they develop, they'll become more, say, female or male, but in their mind, you can understand why they would be confused. But I think they're just opening the doors up for anyone to jump on this bandwagon now. And then they're in fact pushing the agenda to where a child puts a girl's dress on, a male child puts a girl's dress on, oh, he wants to be a woman. And then the system's taking over and pushing drugs on them from the doctors, the schools. It's encouraging these kind of things where it isn't really necessary.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what damage are these hormones doing to these? You know what I mean? Change the minds. Some don't go through fully with it and regret. There's a lot of regret and what damage is done to then undo.
Yeah.
Well, there are studies out there that back up what you're saying, but they sort of brushed under the carpet. It's like the agenda is more important than people's health.
It's like
It's a mental health issue.
that's right. It's like you're saying the mental health issue. I only read somewhere a couple of weeks ago about they done a study of the transgender from male to female, and a percentage of them, they were the eldest child, and the parent had the second child, and the second child was female to this young child, because a child hasn't got that capacity in its mind to have the difference, so he just wants to be a little girl because mum's had a new baby and it's a little girl. So this 3-year-old wants to be a girl because mummy loves the little girl. That's right, because mummy loves the little girl. And I read, now I don't know how true these figures are and how true these numbers are and all that, but then that psychological, the way we're all taught, oh, it's normal, you let your child wear a dress, let your child all this. What psychological damage will that do to that child later on?
Yeah.
Is where my question is. Where's that going from? Because it's putting pressure on the parents to make that child, and then, oh, is he going to go through more harm? Are they going to kill themselves when they go through puberty because they're getting boobs or they're getting penis that they don't want to use? And then you're getting that self-castration and all that palaver comes involved.
Well, it's a massive commitment and it's a big question to ask yourself, and they're putting this on little kids at 6, 7 years old, and it's like they're not ready for this kind of, it's pressure, isn't it? I mean, just counsel these people, deal with the real issues. I mean, if they are hermaphrodite, then fair enough, but just anyone who feels that way, as a small child especially, there should be like a waiting period or something.
Yeah, definitely. Like, is this even the same thing? It's probably not, but my little boy thought he was a dog, like 12 months. It's like, he still pants now and pushes his ear when he gets excited. You watch him when he gets excited, he goes like this, right? But
have you encouraged that?
I just let him do it. I didn't encourage it, but I just let him do it because I don't want to always be telling him no. I just let him express himself.
That's right.
And he's actually grown out of it, so.
Yeah, I wonder if
that definitely.
So I'm a different person a week from I am now. So I mean, can you commit at such a young age, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the legal standards are in this country, but I do know someone that it's affected personally, and I think their child waited till they were 18 before they started hormone treatment.
Right.
I think, but I'm not sure if they can start it younger in this country.
I
know they're doing it in America at young ages, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they're mental in America, aren't they?
Well, we usually follow course in 5
years.
We're doing. So it's like coming here next, really, isn't it? And the EU's all for this. I don't even know to sum it up, but Transgenderism or whatever. What would you sum it up? Insanity. I
personally, I do think it is a form of mental illness, and it did used to be registered as a mental illness, and that's what people were treated for. And I don't know if the treatment helped everyone, but it helped some people. And then now it's just got too much. Now it's like you can just change your sex, That's right.
Well, it's like everyone's confused, but I don't see how you cannot be confused in this society these days.
Well, it's confusion. I was talking to young lads a couple of nights back in town, and it's confusing for them because they go, "You girls are all right. You wear your false eyelashes, you wear your false boobs, you do all your hair, and then you come home and you take all that off, and it's not really you we turned up to see." Now I know that's not transgender, but is this how society is now? Is it confused? The sexes are very confused.
Well, they're confusing everything else, aren't they? So it's like they're just trying to.
I'm just going to jump and say hello to. We've got 3 viewers right now, so I'm just saying hello to Ruben and Xbox Z. Good evening.
Thanks for watching.
There does seem to be a lot of confusion these days, definitely.
But can you not be confused in the way things are running? I'm not saying sexually, but just in other ways. It's just like, it is really confusing. It's depressing. It's just not a nice direction it's heading in, really. You can't please all of the people all of the time, and it seems like they're trying to please everyone, but they're pleasing nobody.
I definitely feel like there's an agenda behind it. That's just my own personal opinion, because it just links too much to just the violence in it. You know, mutilating your body, taking bits off yourself, and doctors just encouraging you to do it. And that's just, this whole system is violent in many ways. So I just feel it's part of that, and just the self-castration factor and population control.
That's right.
Well, yeah, it comes down to population control, and then if you look at I mentioned this last week when we were shutting down, but the suicide rates in transsexual people is like 40%, which is unacceptable. I mean, why would you encourage anyone to go down that road knowing that there's a 4 in 1 chance that they're going to kill themselves at the end of it?
Jeez. Yeah, you wouldn't, would you?
No, I mean, why would you encourage your child knowing that? Are people being told these figures before they take the journey on, or is it all being masked over and just telling the positives?
It's probably in the small print on these leaflets in, doctors' waiting rooms and stuff. It'll be there somewhere.
The statistics, they just brush them over. This pigeon
you do know there is a risk involved with this surgery. That'll be probably as deep as it gets. No.
Yeah, there's a risk you're going to take your own life. Because it's like people are running away from themselves, and they think that by changing the sex, they're going to be a different person, but you're still that same person. You just got minus a penis or plus a vagina or whatever. It's not, doesn't change who you are. So it's like you got to deal with the issues that you've started with, really, not create more issues and like, started now, so go along with it.
I absolutely agree 100% with what you just said. Yeah, I couldn't sum it up any better, to be fair. It's when I was younger, like it wasn't like a widespread thing, and I can't believe that all these people have been in the closet all this time and just been waiting to jump out. I feel that people have been programmed into thinking.
But why is there so much younger people doing it now as well?
Because
it's normalised.
It's normalised through mainstream media. Yeah. I remember when I was about 11 years old, there was a documentary, and I think it was on Channel 4, of this guy that lived somewhere in Yorkshire, like Hull. No, I can't remember what town it was. Somewhere up north, Manchester. And it was made out to be like this weirdo on the street, and couldn't do his own hair and stuff, and wore, you know, granny dresses and stuff. It was made to
I
look
can't
quite
remember the
weird.
programme you're on about.
Yeah, so and that was like,
And it was a big burly man. It was a big burly man, and the
They
hair.
usually are.
yeah, but that was like the start of the programming for me, and then it kind of was like a slow drip feed, and then it got quicker and quicker and quicker.
But what frightens me is how advanced all this is now, and how is my grandson going to distinguish between a true female and a male to female transgender when technology and operations is so fine. We were talking before about womb
Transfers.
yeah. Is that another thing that's coming in down the line with all this?
Well, it's like this, isn't it? I mean, if you copped off at a club and you got back and it was really a girl pretending to be a man, you'd be pretty pissed off, because I'd be fucking pissed off. A guy's trying to be a woman and I think it's a woman and then I find out it's a guy. You know what I mean? They're fucking really angry. They're violating, in fact. So, I mean...
I think that's right. It's a violation and you're not getting told the truth. But then with these children, when you go and you see these studies, they're told to go and live as a woman. So they're told to go and live as a woman, but then
if I can't accept it, then it's me big problem.
It's like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's
fucked.
They're trying to, because they're obviously fucking nuts somewhere along the line, but they're trying to make you appear nuts if you don't accept it. It's like they spun it all around.
Yeah. It's very, very frightening. Very, very, and to think how normal.
Well, it's like they've made it so it's a bit of a taboo subject because you don't want to upset anyone, but that's...
It's just like this thing we read before. If we say transgenderism, we're classed as ignorant.
Yeah.
Because it's not a thing. But it is a thing.
Yeah, if you say hermaphroditism, that's also offensive. But it's like these words are put there for a reason. If you're getting offended by them, then you've got to look at the issues that you're carrying, not the word itself.
Right. It's very, 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 very scary.
It is.
So I think as the home, the way these kids are getting younger, and I mean, see, there was a program on something where there was a young child, and he was transgender. I can't remember what it was on. I don't really watch TV, so it's only, I'll only walk through one of my kids is watching it, and I'll see a program. It's a child who wants to be transgender, and is in all the pink fluorescent things and earrings and wigs, but the mother is, well, they should learn how to do, and I'm thinking to myself, is this child, we're starting on hormone replacement next year, now is this young boy doing it because of all this attention he's receiving and it feels good? Or is there really an issue going on?
I don't think there was any boys in my class that secretly wanted to be girls.
No, me neither. I can't tell you that. I tell you that there was boys in my class that were gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't tell you that. Now, is that because it wasn't talked about back then? Well, is this what it all is? Get it all normalised, break up the family home, confuse the sexes, so we don't know where we're going, so we don't know what we're doing.
Well, that's the way it affects things, isn't it? Because it does confuse people, as in you don't know how to refer to people no more.
That's right. It's because you're scared to offend people, because people get offended at the top of that.
Yeah, well, that all started with political correctness, didn't it?
Right.
That was another thing.
That's
around the same time when I was like 10 or 11, political correctness started creeping in everywhere. You couldn't tell someone if they were fat anymore.
Yeah.
It's that word, political correctness. That's the downfall of the Western world.
Religious.
Yeah, well, that's like that Newspeak, innit, in 1984. Big Brother, whatever that book
Yeah, you're gonna have to speak like that so you don't offend anyone. You're just gonna have to start like chopping out half the words in the English dictionary because they're just like too close to the bone for too many people to like run it past them.
Like, what's wrong with being offended anyway? Like, what happens when someone...
I think everyone should get offended in some way because you're going to your boundaries, aren't you? And it's like you got to look why you are being offended and the reasons behind it, and then you can deal with like issues in yourself, really, innit?
That's right.
Yes, someone's been
Not so much a reluctant wizard anymore, is it?
No, I wouldn't. No, yeah, exactly. So, do you think then it could possibly be a mental illness like it used to be diagnosed? Do you think there is some kind of confusion?
I think good counsellors would do a lot more help, and the way that people are being counselled, you know, you got to ask them kind of questions. Where's this all failing? That this is the obvious answer is to like, you know, go down this road. You know, why is other avenues not being pursued with vigor?
Yeah, with as much vigor anyway.
Yeah, but as we all know, certain things and certain topics and way of dealing with things are all taught. No one's allowed to do things their own way, so everything's just done exactly the same, and it's not working, is it? So all the counsellors must be saying the same things, and it's obviously not working. So we wouldn't have this problem, would we? Or is it a problem, and we're just like, you know, well, saying just walk around Manchester and you see bearded women. It's like, this is fucking weird. But then that stems back from the Israelis putting a transsexual person in for the European Song Contest. And like, I'm thinking this is a joke. And then a few months later, I see some fucking girl walking down the road looking exactly the same. It's like, wow, someone's too that serious and acting that way.
Yeah, how quickly did that get into your everyday society?
Yeah, and you think, oh, that's just like never going to happen, and it did.
It did.
And I'm like looking at this thing walking down the road. I'm like, wow, that's weird as fuck. But she was like, chest out, like bold as brass, loving it. You know, the attention. It's like, you're going to get attention, aren't you? You fucking bearded woman. I mean, that stuff's from the circus years ago, isn't it?
It was. Apparently.
It's not wrong with a bit of beard.
Just have to walk around the street now. They've escaped. All the circus acts have escaped and populated the world.
But I do feel sorry for the young. Especially are getting injected, these babies.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, like
strong hormones.
Yeah.
There's also a 6-week-old baby cannot fight all them hormones.
No.
Can't. What's happening to that child baby's body?
Well, you just walk around and a lot of the young lads are very feminine these days, but they're dressing the same as the women. There isn't it's like unisex clothes nowadays with the ripped jeans and the tight fitting pants. It's like there's no like male clothes and female clothes. They're all like blending.
No, I'm just looking at what genders there are now, because when I was growing up, there was just boy and girl.
Yeah.
Female.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at a few. There's cisgender, which is cisgender.
Cis.
Yeah, like CIS gender. Person has a gender identity consistent with the sex they were assigned at birth. So a child whose sex was assigned male on the birth certificate and identifies as a boy is cisgender. So are we all cisgender then?
So we're cisgender. Our cisgender.
You're cisgender. And you're cisgender. So you're not male and you're not female anymore. You're cisgender.
It's such a bit of a naff name. They could have thought something better than that.
I know, we can fuck off, baby.
I never agreed to that.
I'm a fairy. They can keep the sex genders.
Okay, so did we understand that correct?
No.
A transgender person is someone that's sex who was assigned at birth does not match the physical.
Yeah, but surely trans means the transmuting from one gender to another, but it doesn't mention that in the
Transmutant
description.
cell, that's what I always. So it's a transmutant cell that's transmuted, and that's making the male think
It's female, yeah.
to be a female. So who's transmuting that cell? The injections when the babies.
And the hormones. But like I said, there are a small proportion of society that are born with.
Yes, I agree with you, Dad, and I do agree with that.
Yeah, that's where the lines get blurry. I mean, and they're all jumping on the bandwagon. But what percentage of the population actually are transgender? That'd be interesting to find out. Is it just the 2% which are born that way, or is it a lot higher?
Like that.
Or homosexuality also.
Yeah, well, they're different things
Yeah,
again, aren't they?
What was that?
That's different again. It's not nothing to do with transsexual homosexuality. That's just the fancy the opposite sex, isn't it?
So I just found a quick article in Discover Science for the Curious about transsexual frogs, and it says a popular weed killer makes some frogs grow the wrong sex organs. Your drinking water may have 30 times the dose they're getting.
Is that?
I can't see where this is. We're in at the University of California.
Wow.
So,
well, they're doing something, aren't they? They're doing something to us.
Definitely, I don't think it's all natural. No, I do think
it's definitely not.
The guy, the scientist that was working with these transsexual frogs, was told to inhaling the hormones because of this chemical. I'll have to find the name in a minute. And they describe him in this article as he was hopping around the lab. I've lost it now. Wearing nylon shorts, rubber flip flops, and he had a gold hoop earring, and his beard was braided into impish points.
Oh, Aaron, what have you been doing?
I think that might be a spoof article you're reading there.
No, I've actually seen the video. I've seen a video of him on YouTube. So if it is spoof, they did go to a lot.
What's this? He's breathing in frogs. What?
No, he's done a study to see if this chemical does make these frogs.
So he put it on. He tried it himself.
Yeah, and it started working on him. Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Are these frogs actually changing sex, or are they just?
They're growing the wrong sex organs. So the male frogs are growing boobs and stuff. You know, like moobs. Where did moobs come from? Men boobs. Like men didn't used to get boobs. Like you used to get like some fat men, you know, that eat all the pies and they'd have boobs.
Yeah, but I didn't really see many fat people when I was a child.
No, you didn't.
I'm very sorry to offend more people.
Yeah, there weren't many fatties.
Can't say fat.
Yeah, exactly.
You see,
no, you didn't.
I didn't see. If I see a fat person, that's why we were all in shock, because you didn't really see that many.
No, but you don't not see fat people these days. Everyone's fat, aren't they?
Speak for yourself.
Well, except you, Linda.
You do see a lot. Yeah, you do see a lot of overweight people these days.
Being good. Always.
The girls are all fat. All the good girls are fat.
Professional. Okay. You going to bed? Yeah. You say good night? Yeah. Good night. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, all the girls are
Yeah.
butch, and all the guys are like a bit feminine. So are they getting it so right?
So is it happening? Is it happening at this injection stage?
Yeah,
Is it happening?
it's got to be an intervention some point. They can't just like give water out that's got both male, that increases feminism in males and masculinity in females. They can't do it like that. So they have to, like I say, be like done through injection.
No, but make sure that they get everyone at some point, because there's hormones in the plastics that you know, food comes wrapped in, and or the bottles water's stored in, that affect sex hormones. There's so it's in your food,
Hormones.
it's in vaccines. It makes its way into water supplies. It's in weed killer. So it does seem to be an attack on the sexes. So what I want to ask the panel is, do you think it's just on a deeper level there is a spiritual attack, and the divine masculine and the divine feminine are under direct attack?
Yes.
Yeah, it's, like stated earlier, it's part of the depopulation program for this agenda 2030. It's loose, you know. Just what a better way to cull the population than just not to have it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Where can we ourselves?
Right.
But another thing we've always, you know, a few years back, we found the breast cancer gene, and we're getting women that had this gene.
And who was the most famous of them all to get both her breasts off? So all these other women went and done it.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And that
So,
cat doll, did one of them have the titties off?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But a few
Pussycat dolls or something.
One of the pussycat dolls, he says.
Oh, I haven't got a clue, lads.
I'm not like
them. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
I don't know, but usually they do get a few celebrities to follow suit, so they'll get someone really famous to suggest something.
They seem like it's a martyr because they've had the breasts removed, and then they want them in the public eye. They're trying to encourage it. Oh, you know, you might get cancer, so just chop them off. It's like, why encourage that? What about changing diet and
experimentation, and that just leads into the hospital.
Yeah.
Thing. I mean, I don't know how you want to lead into that.
Well, they are always trying to get us to go to hospital for things, and there are always these panic illnesses that are reported really hard in the mainstream media. You know, like bird flu, swine flu, mad cow disease. You know, so they're all, and then like they want you
Ebola.
to get Ebola. How did I forget Ebola? Fucking hell, what happened to that? Like the whole west coast of Africa are all supposed to be zombies by now or something. So,
and then just look who owns the patents on it all.
Yeah, these diseases have patents.
It's crazy.
So somebody invented them.
Man-made.
In a lab.
And
I agree.
I know people
all this fear about a virus coming out.
You've got swine flu.
Swine flu, bird flu.
Yeah. So there's
Didn't this winter we have we had the Asian flu, the Australian flu, and the other flu. There was 3 flus going around this winter, and that's why all these people died, and that's such a bad time because there was 3 flus. But my theory is that these 3 flus and all these poor people who died was because they had the flu shot. It wasn't because a very type of flu going on. When I heard it in the news, Australia have had a terrible time, I said to my daughter, you watch, because Australia's winter's the opposite arse way to ours. You watch, wait till England, wait till Christmas, we'll have Australia's flu. Oh, we've got the Asian flu, got the Australian fucking flu, we've got this flu. Read somewhere that it's mandatory. It's going to be mandatory next year for every child under the age of 8 to have the flu shot. Where? In school.
in
My
this
dad's,
country?
Yes. Yes, that's what I read in my medical forums.
well, my dad's
It's going to
75.
become mandatory that your child will have the flu shot at school.
Oh, it's a good job it's next year because mine will already be 8. Steph's already too old. Do you know what? They've been, so this is another thing what they do. They try and pester you into vaccinating your kid. So they want these chemicals in these children. And ever since I came back to England, they've been pestering me to go into this clinic and get them vaccinated. And I swear to God, this woman's doing it just to piss me off because she knows that I'm not interested. That's how it feels anyway.
It's like a
So she
battle.
rings me up. Yeah. So one day I just said, so you want me to bring my child in so you can, stick him with the viral poison? And she said, yeah. So I don't know if she's listening to me or she just really wanted to piss me off, but that's what she said.
Wow.
But I've got 2 children and one wasn't born in this country and I've never registered with the doctor. But so he's not like, they don't pester me about him.
Yeah.
They just pester about them. They started sending text messages. I sent one back just saying, fuck off. Leave me alone. Like,
But you see, you've got that spirit to be able to do that. Can you imagine these young mums who are scared, who do not want their child to be fully pumped full of this shit?
Well, they think they're doing the best for the child. It's like you think you're protecting your child by having it done, but it's.
But then they put the fear into God into them and say, well, if your child gets sick, your child will be the one who dies.
Yeah, exactly. They do. They say that kind of stuff. They've said it to me.
Do you know? And if you're saying that to a young mum, a first-time mum, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, but automatically the fear-mongering alone off, like you said, the text messages off your GPs,
Do you know
off the health visitors,
how
off
they
the wall.
worded that text message? They worded the text message. We want to make sure that all of our children are safe and
Against
vaccinated.
yours.
Our
so
children.
well they work.
Talking like they're their kids.
Yeah.
It triggered me. Oh God.
That's like an oxymoron, though, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
Yeah, it's like they might not work because your kid's not had that is. It's like
So yeah, so they are desperate to get these chemicals into children. Could it
it's
be
not just
part of
children.
this transgender agenda? To make the hormones imbalance. Could that be one of the reasons they want these chemicals in the children? Who knows? Like, do we have a right to ask these questions? I think we do.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Do you have a right to know whether your child's getting stabbed with female hormones or male hormones?
Well, I've got a question from the chat. Raspberry Rum. I like that. Hi everyone. Do you think the trans agenda has anything to do with the MRC5 and the W138 being in the vaccines? I would have to check what they are, to be fair.
No,
Does anyone else? Can I have a look? Do you guys want to keep talking while I have a look?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I'll have to see what those
Yeah,
are.
I want stuff with it.
Yeah, you have got to keep each other company.
Oh, right. Go on, Anne, off your pop.
With the contacting you, my dad's 75 and the doctors are always pestering him to go and have the flu vaccine, the flu shot. Constantly. They must have contacted him 10 times over last year. Even going and picking a prescription or they're trying to force one of these. And I'm saying to my dad, don't you dare have one of them because it's not going to help you in any way. So he didn't have it. He didn't get the flu, so it's all good.
I mean, I'm digressing a bit, but I'll talk about my mum and the medications. She developed epilepsy when she had my brother, so it was later on in her life. So she was on all kinds of epilepsy medication, and then she was on because she didn't want to take any. She used to get headaches after fitting, and she was marketed with having ibuprofen ibuprofen was marketed as one of the safest painkillers in the 80s and didn't give you any side effects, and it was good for all muscles and all kinds of things. And now my mother's only in her mid-60s and she's completely losing her mind and hasn't got her mind, just on medication.
Was your number of years?
Nothing to do with the epilepsy.
Was she on them a number of years?
Yeah. Up and down, and on and off. Yeah.
Well, just using.
But now, my mother, if you go to your doctors for ibuprofen, you can get ibuprofen in home bargain for 25p. But if you go to your doctors for ibuprofen, they've got to give you a stomach tablet to go with it. Because ibuprofen now is being known to not only eat the lining of your stomach, gives you stomach cancers, and it also brings on the onset of dementia. So now, if you go to your GP, they will give you a stomach tablet to counteract that ibuprofen. And then stomach tablets, they've been known to bring on the onset of dementia also. So every tablet has got a counteractive thing that comes with it.
But they base a lot of the tablets with fluoride. I mean, that's the main compound that carries whatever ingredients is in it. Yeah, so apparently you just like, when you're popping a pill, you're taking a dose of fluoride with it anyway.
Oh, I did not know that. Oh, yeah.
Well, I just learned that MRC5 is to do with the human cell strains in vaccine development.
Right.
I saw something else.
But in these injections, so you know what's going in them.
So, but like, if you look at the basics, like they say an X in an X chromosome and an X in a Y chromosome, they can't alter that once you're born. So what are they actually altering? Are they just supplementing hormones and like?
Or are they just are these stopping the growth of other hormones? No, I really don't know.
So yeah, this is vaccines, and there was a statement from the Vatican apparently about the use of what you was talking about earlier, cells from aborted fetuses in vaccines. So yeah, probably.
So
to answer your question,
if the Vatican has mentioned it, then it's like common knowledge, basically. Should be.
So, yeah.
Get these people that work in these doctors' offices to ring you up and press you into going in and vaccinating a child. And at schools, they give you've got to sign things to not be involved when it should be the fucking other way around. And I think the safest thing on those days, like, is not to have your kids in school, like for the day before, that day, the day after.
Yeah, because they just like shepherd them in.
Yeah, even if you've written a piece of paper, you're not there.
If they don't get them, if they don't
your kids.
That's right, and you don't. I know. My daughter was more affected. My daughter was more affected by the cervical cancer injection that they were fanning about for the teenagers.
Right.
So when she was going through her, becoming a young woman, and they stabbed my daughter with all that shite at school, in high school, 13 years of age.
Yeah, they lined us all up for injections at school. It's weird as fuck when you think of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I swear a lot. Sorry, everybody.
I had mine at school. What do you do?
Yeah, they use aborted fetus to make vaccines. Yeah, I had heard that before, but I'm no good at numbers and stuff. Does not stick in my head at all. Shocking.
Well, you hear that much, you don't really know what to believe sometimes. It sounds so extreme. You think, why would they use that? But there's probably is some truth there.
Yeah. Where did they get that from? Well, if you think about it, when you have a baby, most people have the babies in the hospital. Now, the hospital will, well, first of all, it's going to traumatize you to death, and they're going to want to give you loads of drugs that you didn't ask for. and they're not going to be supportive, and they're going to neglect you. This, like, they really do. It's horrible having children in hospitals.
I have this theory on the umbilical cord I've had for years, and I spoke to my daughter when she had my grandson, but she just thought I was mad. And it's called delayed clamping, because I believe instead of our children getting all these injections, if we kept that umbilical cord on our child, oh, what good nutrients and everything could protect that baby. I've always had a thing that umbilical cord shouldn't even be getting cut off. It should fall off naturally. Fall off naturally. And as soon as you have a child in hospital, within seconds, they cut that off, take that after birth away from you, and that's gone.
Yeah.
You do not know what's going. That's got so much hormone and everything in it, and that's gone from you, and you don't know. You don't
know what happens with it. I'll tell you what happens with it. Rich people buy it and they put it on the skin
or eat it.
Yeah, that's what happens with it. I've got no evidence for that, of course. I've just seen that in a video. But they do. They tell you on the Kardashians what they do.
Posh people.
So, yeah, so that is the first thing that they do. They stop your baby getting all that goodness.
Yeah.
And take it away from you. And then they also will puncture your baby's skin in the first 24 hours of it being born. This perfect baby, they'll puncture its skin to get a drop of blood for some rare disease that no one's ever heard of.
What baby have you ever? What baby in the space of time? I've never heard of any of my friends or any child have had this disease.
You can't even remember what it was called, can you?
No, I cannot.
No, see.
But it was very important.
Yeah, that they got that blood.
That's right.
Yeah. No.
But I still don't know of any child who's had this disease.
The only time I have ever heard those words spoken is when I've given birth.
Me too, girl.
They really want that baby's blood, so what can they do with that?
And what do they want baby's blood for? 24 hours old. That baby's hardly ingested anything apart from that mother's fluid itself. So what good's that blood? What do they want that blood for?
I have a theory,
Do they not just take it so they know the baby's blood type?
Yeah, that as well, probably, so they know it's blood type.
I thought they'll probably do it under that guise. They'll say that's the reason, but it might not be the reason. But I thought they also injected the baby as soon as it was born. They take it away to weigh it, and then they inject it with
vitamin K. Yeah. And they inject the mum just before the baby's born with something like looking for iron deficiency or something really.
And as soon as the baby's born,
is it folic acid?
Like that after birth cup.
Yeah, they do. Crazy.
Yeah, but all is a child's born with its immunity system working fine. It's got the mother's immunity system, and like I said, with the umbilical cord draining, it's just a natural process that they're cutting out.
Anybody can ask for delayed clamping now. I mean, a lot of the hospitals refuse to give it.
Well, they say that's a child's first.
They say no, we can't because you'll get it's a dangerous infection for mother, it's a dangerous infection for baby, but it's not. But all the most, what I think the most time they give is 10 minutes. So you can ask, if you're pregnant, you can ask for delayed clamping, and they will let the baby. They will let the baby's umbilical cord stay on, but no longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they cut it.
So they do give you an option then?
Oh, exactly, in the hospital. Weird.
Yeah. Well, they say a child's first experience of anxiety is at birth, and it seems like they make that process as most stressful for the child as well as the mother. As they
they do.
it seems that way. Everything's like that, you know. Everything's created to cause stress. Why do they want us in this stressful state all the time? From birth, from the moment you pop out, that's it. Boo, stressed out.
Yeah. The first person that touches you is some stranger in rubber gloves, and there's all this electric lighting and machinery everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's
Yeah,
disorientated.
bright lights. I mean, you've been in darkness for 9 months. You don't want to be born into a big
Mm.
spotlight.
Mm-hmm. False light.
Mm. But they're just about figures in an hospital. They're just about turnover, safety.
But
Everything else gets pushed aside, doesn't it? There's no humanism though. It's just this.
oh,
Everyone with the masks on, and you're not even real people. They're all covered up.
yeah, exactly. It's like an alien experience in a hospital.
Yeah.
But doctors like take liberties with patients. There's a very unhuman element to hospitals and to the medical profession in general that's violently against people living healthy lives, in the treatment that they give people, in the way that they diagnose people, in this whole thing, like in this whole transgender movement, you know, just willfully like letting people mutilate themselves. So I just want to talk about that a little bit, like, you know, someone goes in with suspected appendicitis and like, or something, like they just take bits out of people for no reason, you know.
Well, I'll talk. My personal experience in this is, to this day, I don't know if my gallbladder was removed for the sake of being removed.
Your gallbladder.
Me,
Yeah, gallbladder.
the gallbladder. I was sick every month. I was in hospital. I knew what was up with me, and I wasn't getting out. And because the doctors didn't want to admit what was going on, they came back to me and said it was why I was sick. It was my gallbladder, and they took my gallbladder away, even though I knew it wasn't that. When you're getting professionals telling you that's why you're sick, I ended up in the theatre, going down to theatre, trusting these people and getting my gallbladder taken away from me, when that's not what I was telling these doctors what was up with me. 2 days later, after that, I left it. I totally believe that doctors give wrong diagnoses for many, many things. One being experimental new treatments, and two being population control. And they don't want people alive. They don't want people, you know,
Recovering.
But yeah,
they want people. It's a bit, well, especially what I've learned and who I've seen, and I've seen people who I've been mutilated. I've been scarred and mutilated, and body parts taken from me that should never have been fucking taken from me. I've got more body parts taken from me than I have got left inside me.
yeah, no, but it's horrendous, isn't it?
It's I think I go to my GP now and they look at me terrified, as if to say, how the fucking hell are you still walking?
It's like the cure is worse than the illness itself.
Yeah.
But they want you on all these medications, and then the more you're on them, the sicker you get, because it's just a vicious circle. If you're the doctor will give you a prescription and he'll get money for giving you that prescription. I went to the hospital, and because I had a bit of a wobble at the hospital phoned my GP. My GP phoned my phone and said he needed to see me. I'm like, that. What the fuck's gone wrong? You know, your GP just doesn't phone you.
No. So what was wrong with you initially to get to this conclusion that your gallbladder was like?
I had surgical mesh left inside me for 8 years, which had ruptured me bowel and was sitting in me rectum.
So
I had to go on.
So you've had surgery and that's led to this?
Yeah, they left something inside her which was causing problems.
Right, yeah.
Wouldn't listen to her complaints. They just said there was nothing wrong with her.
They blamed me mental health. They blamed addiction to prescription medication, because I had an addiction to prescription medication after a fall, 2008. Which again, I was one of the first. Well, I can't say I was one of the first, but I reckon I was one of the first groups to be prescribed OxyContin in this country, in 2008. And I was on 120. I was on 120 of a morning, 120 of a night. That's big doses.
That's gigantic.
It's huge. And then on top of that, I was on diazepam, nitrazepam to help sertraline for depression, and then metazapine, which is a psychoactive drug.
So the doctor was prescribing all this.
Yeah. And then liquid morphine. I was on 2 bottles of liquid morphine a fortnight.
So were they trying to roll with those? Yeah. Because that's a lot of medication. That's like,
it's a hell of a.
And you're only little. Because like Linda's here with me, so
yeah. I mean, I was in a hospital bed. I was in a hospital bed for coming on 9 months. So all that medication did to me would make me go like that. I was huge. Plus, I wasn't moving because I was in a hospital bed. But it got to the stage where my GP. I mean, I used to love my GP because I never used to go to the doctors because I couldn't get out. So he used to come to me once a fortnight. He'd come to me and give me this prescription once a fortnight.
Oh, that was good of him.
Of course it was, because now what I know now is that visit alone. That visit alone on me earned that doctor at least 20 fucking grand. At least 20 grand.
You're his best customer.
Right, lads? Best fucking drug deal, do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's...
Of course, because then it was not the problem I was facing. I had a broken back. Now, I just didn't have a broken back. I had a full-on raging addiction.
Yeah, and you still had that stuff inside you.
That's right. So, going into the hospitals, now I understand if there's nurses reading my hospital notes and read and see that I'm on all these drugs. You get and I'm like, I need me to, because now they go, well, what's she needing it for? She's got to sew back, she's crawling the fucking walls here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm crawling the walls because I'm not addicted.
Yeah, you're in withdrawals.
Right, and I'm having withdrawals. So then you get talked about, and then it's your mental health that comes into question. And I have no value to my words, none. I was in that hospital for years and years and years and years and years. I was assaulted. I feel I was assaulted by a big doctor in that hospital, big professional bowel doctor. And I was systematically abused. Basically, people I've met since through what I do now, and I meet these sick people. I meet these people who have had traumatic things more so than me. And you think, how are you living? How are you living through not just the scars of being a fucking guinea pig, all the medications and what it's left them in and where they are now. the whole thing about the transgender, the injections, it's the whole medical thing that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
Seriously so.
Yeah.
And it's not so much.
It's a lot of barbarism.
Medication. Medication's a big thing.
Well, hospitals are a place where people go to when they need help, you know, when they're at the most vulnerable. And it seems the perfect hunting ground for psychopathic doctors to practice the surgical techniques.
That's right. That's right.
On people. You see, doctors make a simple suggestion to people that they have a certain something wrong with them and they need surgery. And once you're under anaesthetic,
they can do anything they want.
What they want.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's like I'm under no illusions, no all these microchips that everyone's going on. I've been talking about this for 3 years, about these microchips. I'm under no illusion that they're going to start doing that very fucking soon. So all these people who are having these operations, to all these people who are going under the dentist, you know what I mean? These microchips will be getting put into us all.
Have they not been doing it for years already?
That's right. Haven't I got one in now? Have I got one in now? The amount of shit that's gone through my body. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the amount of times they've had me in there.
So basically, you was ignored by the doctor. You had the surgery.
2004, I had this mesh put in. Well, before that, they gave me a hysterectomy. I was systematically and needlessly castrated, said one doctor. Needlessly castrated with kids.
So what did you go in for? Why did they give you a hysterectomy?
I had my children, one after the other, and my last child was £9.12. Well, I'm only 4'11".
Yeah.
Did you giggle then?
I think he fell off his toes too.
I was doodling with a pen.
So I had a prolapsed vaginal muscles on my wall. When I went into the hospitals, because I was only a young mum at this stage, I was only 24 years of age, and they told me that it was a prolapsed womb, and the pain that I was having was endometriosis, and this endometriosis was getting fed by me hormones, and that the only way to stop this was to give me a full hysterectomy. So they needed to take me womb and my ovaries, and I'll be fine after this.
So when you went into surgery, did you think they was just fixing the prolapse?
No.
They told you.
They told me that,
they had to do everything.
They had to do everything, take me womb and everything else, but and that problem, because I was feeling a heavy sensation, it was like I was, this sounds mad, the turtle's head. So does everyone know the turtle's head thing? Well, I had a constant turtle's head, but in the vaginal area, because it was like a prolapsed vagina muscles. But they said once they took my womb and all that pain that I was feeling had stopped, and that heaviness had been gone, which was fair enough. Yet that was. I had to go through the trauma of being 25 and having no hormones, and then having to be on HRT and going through hot flushes and my body battling, because I was a new mum. My son was only 1 year of age at this stage.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really heavy stuff, isn't it?
And then 6 months after the hysterectomy, I felt this heaviness again. And I was like, what the fuck's this heaviness? I haven't got a womb, so what the fuck's this? Again, I was only a young girl, 25 years of age. Back to the GP I go. Back to the doctor. I hadn't fixed the vaginal muscles, the walls. Goes back to this doctor. I'm on the operating theatre before they put me under, saying to him and asking him why didn't he fix them. Why I came in because I felt something, so why didn't he fix them? Blah blah blah. And this doctor, Mr. Richardson, his name was, he said, if you don't stop being hysterical, I'll cancel the operation now. That's what this doctor said to me.
Well,
That fills confidence as you're just about to go under the knife by the person. That's like psychological
Of course
abuse,
it
isn't it?
is. Well, he's more important than me. I'm nothing.
You're not
I'm
allowed to
just.
question doctors, are
Oh,
you?
listen, I was just a silly female who complained that he hadn't done his job properly in the first fucking place. That's all I was to him. I was under no illusion at that stage. I was terrified. Terrified. So yeah, we went and done that operation. It wasn't even 6 weeks later. Again, I was feeling that heaviness. My bladder, because I had no womb or anything, my bladder had dropped at this stage. And it hadn't just dropped, it had tilted. So I wasn't getting the sensation of being able to go for the wee. So I had to learn how to catheterise myself. So I went through a couple of years ago and having to catheterise myself. My GP said to go back to this doctor and I refused. I went, are you joking? This is twice he's operated on me and twice he's made a mistake. I'm not going back to him. Sent me to a different guy. I went from one butcher to another. But this guy was clever and used different tactics and new materials, new things. And this is where this mesh comes in, because I'm not the only. There's women who have died because of this mesh. There's women who are still struggling now. This mesh is broken up inside women, and it's attached itself to other body organs. It's broke body organs. There's women who have got colostomy bags. There's women who've got bladder bags. There's women who can't have sex anymore. There's women who can't do many things. There's women who've got this fibromyalgia because of this mesh, the metal. It's because it's so cheap, you see. It's because it's so cheap. The doctors are putting it on all these women who are having pelvic floor problems. There's a few men that have gone through this as well. But it's this mesh was used for me in 2004.
so can I just stop you, sir? Is the mesh supposed to be like? Yeah.
Yeah, how he described it to me was that they're going to, my bladder will sit in a hammock. This mesh would open up inside me and they put my bladder in a type of hammock and then tie it off at my coccyx bone. This is how it was explained to me. So it would be like a mesh hammock inside me holding my bladder up.
Yeah.
But it's not going to harm my body because it's not made of harmful materials and blah, 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 blah. Where now it's being found out that toxicity alone in these meshes is what's caused all these poor women to be sick. I got my mesh put, I mean, these women are getting sick after having meshes put in 2012 and in 2015. My mesh was put in 2004. I'm getting answers now. I didn't know. I didn't know about all these other women. I've only found out about these women in the last month.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're completely alone with all these problems.
Well, I wasn't. Well, this is what I'm talking about. They cover up what GPs do and doctors do. Obviously, they know. There's a big campaign going on right this very fucking second that some woman, a Baroness lady, has stopped the use of this mesh being used in this country. Right? This is how dangerous it is. So if it's that big, why hasn't my GP informed me?
Well,
Why haven't I had access that I... Sorry, Aaron, go on.
Sure, there's some medical negligence there along the line at a lot of points. Is there no way of pulling them up on it, or is it just lost?
Well, there's many. Apparently, the man who operated on me, there was the biggest case against the NHS. Mr. Rowlands, his name was. He was in the Zannie hospital. He operated on over 700 women. And it was apparently one of the biggest cases against the NHS. And he had £14 million put aside for all these women who've had all these surgeries and everything else. Now, I think what the hospital are trying to say is that how my mesh slipped was when I had my accident. Fair enough. If they want that, let the fuckers have it. I know. I was picking my own shit out my ass before I broke my back. Right? But I'll let them have that. If they're saying that happened when my accident happened in 2008, how come still in 2014, in 2008, that's 6 years of me telling them that there's something after my accident, that there's something in my back passage. They still left me for 6 years, blaming my mental health, blaming medications I was taking. Why? Why did it take me? Why did having to leave my home, having to leave my children, having to leave my city, huge place that I've never been before, for them to find out? What was that cover up? What's getting covered up still? Why haven't I been told about all these women? Apparently there's a doctor in London, a very specialist doctor, where all these women are going to, because this mesh is breaking up in women. These meshes that have been holding up women, it hasn't just penetrated the bowel, it's penetrated the liver, it's penetrated the lungs, all fucking kinds floating around the body.
Right.
Now, is all mine gone?
Is it still in you?
Well, as far as the doctor who operated on me is not in this country anymore, and I had to sign for me. The whole operation was filmed in 2015. I left Liverpool in 2014. So yeah, it was all filmed, and they said it was all gone, all the mesh is gone. But do I believe all? Do I believe them? I don't know. The sickness I'm getting, the way I've lost my words, my memory, my mind. I don't know. Am I looking for something? I don't know again.
That's
I don't know. I don't know. I've been told that much bullshit, and then being assaulted, and then being mutilated.
Looks like they've used I'm
That's
getting
what it
back
was
feedback.
Yeah, we are getting some. It's because
Linda's having a whinge.
it's because of Linda. She's saying too much.
It's radioactive, Linda, again.
So the doctors ignored you for years, saying there was nothing there, nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, it's all in mind. It's nothing to do with us, but they're going to say that, aren't they?
That's right. Well, the hospital that operated on me, the North Cheese Hospital, they were absolutely astounding with me. But I had to sign for my death 3 times. I had to sign that if I died on the operating theatre, it wasn't their fault. If I died in the midst of theatre, it wasn't their fault. And if I died afterwards, it still wasn't their fault. Do you know what I mean? Because
they weren't taking any chances.
That's right, because they did not know.
They didn't know if you were
That's
going to
right.
survive.
They did not know what mess that they'd left me in. Fucked up. And now I'm still, because I get sick. He said because I was blocked all the time, my bowels swelled, so now I've got pockets, and now sometimes that's why my body shuts down, an infection, and blah, 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 blah. But all I want is answers. All I want is answers. And
you don't
I
want
don't think that's too much to ask for. Pardon, Aaron?
you don't want somebody else going through the same shit you've been through, really, do you? Oh.
I want this whatever this Baroness lady is doing, and the way she's getting this mesh board. Considering the stories that I'm in, I don't even know what type of mesh was inside me. Considering it was 2004, the story, the earliest story I've heard is 2008. Now mine was 4 years before that. You know what I mean? And it was left inside me, and it had been ruptured my bowel and all this. And yeah, I just need answers. And is it all gone? Has it all gone?
Yeah. But do you want to subject yourself to any more of their
Would
tests?
I? But would I? I wouldn't. I think the only reason I'm alive, the only fucking reason I'm alive is my cannabis oil. And I can fucking stand any judge or you put me in front of. And I'll tell you, the only fucking reason I think I'm alive is because of that cannabis. Mad as fuck. I don't take anything. I don't take paracetamol. I don't take anything. The only thing I take is cannabis. Because I've learned. Even the Nurofen we give our children, the Calpol. Oh, a spoonful of Calpol. Full of shit. It's full of shit.
Yeah.
Not good. We're giving this to our babies. Well, there's plants and rules.
Yeah, it is. It does say it's like part of the program, and it's to like program babies into getting used to taking medications.
Yeah.
Like from like a really young age, like from babies.
Yeah.
Geez. Yeah, it is. So, basically, that I've said it before, but I think hospitals are scary places where some dark stuff goes on. And actually, Liverpool has been infamous in the past with the hospital collecting, parts of body parts of babies that have had cot death and stuff because they want to know if it was the vaccines that had done it. Probably. Don't know why I whispered then. So Liverpool, it is known for its experimentation on humans and dead ones.
Do you think, I mean, I know this is going a bit mad, but do you think there's like regional things, like so many of the Welsh have got to be having cancer, so many Scottish have got to have cancer,
Yeah.
and all these treatments get given to these people, and then these people get more illnesses, more sicknesses, and more cancers.
Yeah.
Because of it. I do definitely think it's regional, and I do definitely think there's diagnoses given that aren't right.
Well, in my own personal experience, this year alone, like, this is just me. Oh God, where do I start? It's what was I even going to say?
This is you.
Hospitals are just like, everyone that goes there comes out worse than they went in, is my point. Two people that were diagnosed with cancer. One was like quite well and was quite healthy, just having a few problems. Then started chemotherapy and now like just. But I don't want to, because I want to think good about that. But the other one like was fine, diagnosed, given like really short time, and then went to the hospital. They give him 2 injections, and honestly, they don't know what these injections were. One was for pain, and one was for something else. And in 4 days, he was dead. He basically shriveled up into an old man and died inside 4 days after being at the hospital. Like there was like a baby I know that was kidnapped by the hospital because it fell over, and the concerned parents took it in, and they accusing child abuse instantly, involving police and social services, and trying to take these kids, like especially under 2, and there was more than one baby in there that was under police supervision. More than one baby that had social services called in to can we find a reason to take this baby off its parents? Who else was there? There's been, yeah, it just happens all the time. So I try and avoid hospitals. I don't want to be too gloomy. Like, I know that there's good people that work in hospitals. I know that there's good people that like try and help other people.
Right, and there is the good, and there is the nurses that come
They're
across
just
from
they're just injecting someone with a vial, aren't they? They don't really know what's in that ingredient. They can read
No.
the people above the scientists who are putting this stuff together in the labs. They could be putting any old shit in there, working for somebody else's agenda, and the nurses feel like they're just doing the job. This is going to help. But I think euthanasia is alive and kicking in the UK.
Of course it is.
Pardon.
Whenever people go into
I know an
nursing
old
homes,
lady went into the hospital with just a cold, because she couldn't breathe no longer, just as cold. She was dead. She was dead within a week. Her granddaughter was in a private room with her, and he started giving her antibiotics. As soon as they give her antibiotics, 24 hours after giving her antibiotics, this poor woman was elusive, couldn't remember her name, couldn't remember her kids or anything, but she didn't go in being crazy. She went in just for something so simple as, you know what I mean? Mad. 2 weeks later, she's dead.
What was really in those antibiotics?
That's right. But she was saying there to her granddaughter, they're killing me, they're killing me at night, they're killing me at night. She was convinced of the air conditioner in the private room. She was saying they're putting something through there for night. Putting something through there for night. And whether that's true or whether that's just the psychoactive of the meds that they're giving them.
But she didn't feel safe there, did she?
No, she didn't. And it's like, it was all over the news a few months back about the them and they were set wrong. So the people who were having surgeries, they were pumping themselves and killing them fucking selves. Over the people that
why don't they give older people credibility if they are saying something like that? Why aren't they looking into it? I mean, no one's being accountable. Everything's just to cover up the medical industry, you know, like insurance, so that do they answer to anyone? Like I say, these doctors and that, there's obviously a guinea pigging on you, but you're not aware of it, and you're the guinea pig. So I mean, it's supposed to be helping you.
Would lock you down. Like if you're like a regular person that lives a regular life, you know, and you try and take legal action against someone, it costs money to hire like a solicitor and stuff, and so like ridiculous amounts of money, you know, like, and try and get legal aid for something these days.
I know. No, if you have benefits, you're not getting.
You're not going to get legal aid to sue a doctor.
But it's usually after the fact when they've already admitted that there's a problem, like you said earlier, where £14 million has been allocated. So they've come to this conclusion amongst themselves, because obviously it's not working. And then they're not like going around notifying everyone. It's like you got to find out about it under your own sort of, I don't know, just find out about it yourself, or you don't find out about it.
That was genius. I feel like I was just in a maze then. Yeah.
It all is wide, deep, and very, very, very scary from the top to the bottom. From your chemists right up to your specialists who deal in all this. There's no illusion. I feel at this minute with me, I went into my GP. I went into my GP and asked my GP if he would refer me to this specialist doctor in London, and he blatantly said no, he wouldn't. And I went, why? He went, well, you need to, she might cost money. And I went, what makes you think I can't afford her? So can you refer me to this? But before I do that, I'll need her full job title and name and full address of which hospital she's working at. And I went, well, can't you do that on your super fucking duper computer? No, I've got to do that.
Yes, they don't make
So he's putting another block in my way.
Yeah.
Really? Why? Why? Told her about going to the hospital. This doctor called me into his office. My GP called me on the phone to come into his office to give me drugs. He went, you need to calm down, you're going off your head too much. Because I told the office, now this is being left inside and going on at the hospital. The hospital had phoned my GPs. My GP phoned me, wanted me in his office to give me medication to calm down, to stop opening my mouth. What kind of crazy shit's that?
That is crazy, yeah. Whose GP calls them in? You can't get an appointment with
Exactly.
your GP, can you? Ringing you up.
Ringing me up to go into his office to give me medication to chill me out.
Eat these pills.
Yeah.
Life will look much better.
Stop talking. One doctor said to me, do you not think it's about time you got over this?
Really?
I went, listen to me, doctor. I went, listen to me, doctor. All my 20s was robbed. All my 30s was robbed. And now I'm 42. And it's still getting robbed. Not through anything I done. Not through my diet. Not through things I've done to myself. But things you have done to me. So where are my answers? Who's going to listen to me?
Was this in Liverpool?
No, this is where I'm at now, Hartlepool. Every time I walk on the road, every time I go to the doctors, they're fucking terrified. They're like, that, how's this fucking crazy bitch still walking?
Yeah, after everything we've done to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're testing me all for all kinds of things, blood cancers, bruises, and all that. But I think it's this, my body shutting down with this mesh.
Yeah, like.
And my cannabis is sustaining me.
Like some kind of toxic shock to what's in that metal.
And my cannabis is sustaining me. That's what I believe. But it can't be anything else. Because I don't take anything fucking else.
Why is the government letting people take CBD now? Why are they legalising it?
Why are they legalising CBD?
And and why, you know,
There's social
get away
pressure.
from
why am I able to get... I'm under no illusion that these are all spying on us right this very fucking seconds, and I tell everybody, every time I'm on the phone to somebody, I always go, spies, 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 blasted spies. And I have been doing it because I'm under no illusion. Why haven't they come and busted my door down and took me when I'm talking about making my medicine? Do you know why? Because I'm too much trouble for their worth. Too much trouble.
I don't think they could shut you up if they really wanted to.
Well, if they took me into a jail or anywhere, I would cost them far too much money. Because they'd have to get me medication, which I can't have that.
No.
So they'd have to give me prescription medication, which would then in turn make me a monk.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I'd be one of the walking dead. And then, because I'd be taking all their medication, I'd be getting more problems. So then I'd be costing the NHS more money. At this moment, I cost the all. I would medicate myself. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people, and my hashtag is make yourself well. A lot of these vendors and a lot of these people who do all these hate me because I go around to people, everyday Joes, and tell them how to make their own. People who've been doing it for years who didn't know anything about decarbonating, I told them all about decarbonating. Make it more magic, decarbonate it. What's decarbonating? Just put it in the oven for an hour. Oh, yeah, just put it in and then use it how you normally use it. and see the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does
Make
help.
yourself well.
Yeah, people keep these things secret, don't they?
They do, it shouldn't
And
be.
they should spread it.
My duty. I've been blocked on many turns. I didn't get it. I didn't get it if anyone helped me. People who helped me, I've never seen. Like my hemp mama in Colorado, and our fella in Morocco. He's what it taught me to do. And then this, because the cannabis, the cannabis community, that didn't help me. Because they were scared of me. They were scared of me because it was too noisy, too loud.
Yeah.
But there was. But that's no, I don't want another person who's sick. Because I was dying. I thought I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want another fucking person. Help me out. I want something set up here where they can go. Now if there is places you've got all kinds, I'm not mentioning names. You've got all kinds of places that you can find and go. But you've got to be in. And if you're not known in that industry, God forbid, they won't fucking touch you. Do you know what I mean? In some places, you've got to be invited. What kind of bullshit's that? It's taking the whole thing of cannabis away. It's a social thing. You have to love each other. No, you can't come because you're not invited.
Yeah. Exclusive.
Do you know what I mean? Fuck off. I'm in my own club.
Exactly. More people should do that in life, definitely. Make their own club. You don't, yeah, I hate all that.
You made a meme about
that.
We did transgressed, but that's, part of the main topic of the show, transgender, you see, so it all fits very nicely. How long have we been on? Oh, not that long.
I don't
What time
know.
did we start? About an hour and a half.
Again.
Yeah, we did.
Don't be blaming me this time. I haven't done it. I've moved.
It'll go away.
Yeah, it's gone away now.
Oh, it's coming back again.
Oh, it's you. Don't be blaming me, see? You.
Yeah, no, my computer's been running slow ever since the ganja fairy got here.
Oh,
and it got slower and slower all day. Like, no, I swear it did. Then I had to reset it, and now we've had to get away.
Yeah, I'm halfway down out the door. Good job, got a loud mouth, didn't it?
Yeah, so every time she leans forward, it starts crackling again. We had the helicopter spying on us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, for about 10 minutes, just circling over the top of us.
Obviously, I got up and gave them a wave.
So, yeah, gang stalking and stuff. Like, people get harassed by establishment bullies. They've got no face and stuff.
And the spies from establishment and know when because I'm under no illusion that they know every track of me, especially because of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Earlier with the other thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm under no illusion. The tracking's going on. How have they put a tracking device in me? When I had that surgery, when I was under for 8.5 hours. Have I got a tracking device in me?
We've all got a mobile phone in our pocket. They don't need put tracking devices in us at the moment, do they?
No, but I actually think that they track us from birth. I think that's one of the reasons that they take the blood, as a baby, so that they can get your frequency, so they can tune in on you and they just know where you are at any time. So that's my theory. One of my unscientific ones. That can't be observed. Yeah, no, I do, seriously. There are, there are other topics out there, that are quite deep and quite conspiracy based, but you feel that there's a lot of truth in them, like, you know, people being experimented on in deep underground bases and stuff, and you know.
You just look at the statistics on people that disappear in different countries over the year. I mean, I think it's like 50,000 in Australia. I'm not sure how many go missing in America. There's quite a few, though. So where are these people going? What's happening to them? And it makes sense that they experiment on people because they're doing it publicly, never mind in secret what they get up to.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of people that go missing that they attribute to serial killers, I think a lot of that is just experimentation on people. You know, like just like military kidnapping and then whatever they want with them.
Yeah.
Because people just veer off the streets and then see them again. And then I think another part of that is like, you know, like witchy cults and stuff, taking slaves and sacrificing them. But that's another topic as well. So I think this stuff goes on.
It does.
You know, so that's just my opinion. I can't prove it.
Yeah, but statistics speak for themselves, don't they? I mean, they give us these numbers of people. Are these people really disappearing, or is it just like, is it trying to reinforce the alien invasion that people are being kidnapped by and taken into these spaceships and stuff? Because
Is it all just part of that fear propaganda?
my brother, who isn't conspiracy minded at all and has 100% faith in government, he really believes that 100% that aliens exist, and one of the reasons is about all these missing people, all these people who go missing in Australia where he's living. But to me, you know, why not look something more obvious to where they could be going?
Here.
Yeah, you know, like, why do you have to jump to that conclusion? Surely, I mean, I don't believe there's like thousands of mass murderers killing people, but perhaps there is. I don't know. But it seems more.
Virgos are good mass murderers. Apparently, they're really good serial killers. Virgos.
Really?
Yeah. Quite stupid.
I think that there are serial killers, but I think they're all programmed to kill. I think there's a great channel, and I will definitely leave a link to this in the description box. So this isn't related to transgenderism, but it is part of some other agendas. But serial killers. There's this great channel. It's on repeat. I'm on a loop. Oh no. They're all programmed to kill. They all went to the same military schools. They were all part of certain cults. They were all connected in some way. There was more than one person committing these offences.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's usually more than one person involved in, like, people who are scared. They report there's numerous people that are participating in whatever, you know, rape or whatever they get up to. But they're just fall guys, aren't they? I suppose they've got to give someone up if they step out of line, and they'll be the people who are doing the gathering the victims.
Yeah, luring them in. How's that?
Luring people in, grooming them, and
people targeted and stuff, you know, for that. They're chosen.
Networks, aren't they? It's like these Asian grooming gangs, and you know, they're just networking for probably an higher. You know, and funneling them through to somebody else who's higher up the chain, but they never get caught. They just have scapegoats, don't they?
Of course, like all these Asian gangs.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm under no illusion that all these Asian gangs got all their ways from all these English gangs, from politicians and all this other shit. Like Theresa May. Oh, Theresa May, I'll be Prime Minister one day. I'll let you be Prime Minister. Lose them fucking files, get rid of that scandal for us. And she loses over 100,000 files. 100,000 files
on what?
Sexual abuse.
Oh yeah, they're always losing them.
She can lose 100,000 files on sexual abuse, and then 6 odd years later she's Prime Minister. Oh, I wonder how that came about. Oh, but I know nothing about politics. Oh, let's not say that. My condition.
Well, she got like in the club by doing that, didn't she?
That's right. That's what I believe.
I've never even looked
I think
into
she
that.
jumped over people. I think she jumped over people because she did do that.
Yeah, they got to earn the keep, haven't they?
We are. Well, wait till the fairies play fucking minister. First thing I'm doing is ban iron and ganja for breakfast.
So that could be a real possibility one day.
What, me, Prime Minister?
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, they're on about Boris Johnson being Prime Minister, so it's possible that anyone can be, innit?
Isn't it?
But I think your blood's the wrong colour.
Green? What?
Yeah, it's got to be blue. Green's not good.
Why?
Because they're all blue bloods, aren't they? They're all in it together. The born
listen,
rules.
You have little faith, Mr. Niels. Ye have little faith. You watch this little
yeah.
Hanson Town Parliament.
You paint a pretty image.
You're looking for a lighter.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I've enjoyed my gap tears, guys. Thank you very much for the invite.
Oh, you're welcome. We've covered quite lots now.
To have you on.
Thank you very much.
So he was our first guest ever, so I wonder who we'll have next week.
No, we are. No one's going to be as good as me.
Will we be more organised next week, Aaron?
We've peaked too soon.
Don't worry, I'll come back if you must. I'll come back if you must. Don't worry. I might do from my own place, and we can have a three-way. Oh, yeah, sounds tasty. Aaron, you're still going to marry me? What are you laughing at?
Because he doesn't know what to say.
Got selective deaf
Oh,
hearing.
he says, no. He goes, no, Linda, stop. No, Linda. No.
No, Linda.
No.
Mercy.
Right, well, I'm going to say good night then.
All right.
Thanks for. Oh, do you know what we've not done yet?
Oh,
we didn't do our section.
All the stones
Munchies,
waiting
well,
for the munchies.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I've not got a snack time, but I've got a really quick, easy vegan curry.
What do you mean you've not got snacks, you cheeky cow? What have I bought?
Oh no, you brought snacks, but I mean,
that nice lovely chocolate.
Oh yeah, Linda did bring some beautiful cannabis infused in all lovely shapes. Yeah,
what, cannabis chocolate?
Yeah, cannabis chocolate. It's very good. I highly recommend it.
Right.
So you can get some from the Ganja Fairy.
Oh, we all don't be saying that till all want some.
I know, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I'm going to do a vegan meal because I said last week I'd do the vegan meal, and I made a curry tonight, and it was absolutely bee's knees. Right, so first of all, you need spicy spuds. Peel and chop your potatoes, parboil them. Warm some oil with some spices in. I think I have cumin and some salt and something else. Or some garlic powder, and in the oven on like 200 degrees for about 40 minutes. While that's doing, make sauce, which is chopped onions, crushed garlic, 2.5 teaspoons of curry powder, some salt and pepper, a stock cube in a pint of water, and some tomato, tin of chopped tomatoes, tomato puree, and we had chickpeas and peppers and mushrooms, onions, all in. Absolutely delicious. It was quite a long ingredients list, wasn't it? Did I tell you what to do?
Yeah, that wasn't cheese on toast, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Where's your rice?
And
Can't
you did
carry
have to
without
wait
rice.
I got
Oh,
top marks.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got top marks, so I'm going to save you some. I'm going to put it in the freezer for you.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you very much, Aaron. Oh, you didn't, have you got any, well, I thought you was ace. I love that bit about. Sorry. I can't repeat it, but I loved it. Right. Good night.
Good night, my darling.
Good night,
Take
viewers,
care.
and
See
thank
you all
you for
later.
tuning in. And we'll see you all next week sometime.
Right, yeah, see you
Thanks for
later.
having me.
Good night, Aaron.
Good night.
Oh, and thank you to the Ganji Fairy. I'm really bad at this, Alton. Thank you, yeah, to the Ganji Fairy for coming
Yeah,
in and
thanks.
sharing your experiences. And,
You and Linda.
yeah, we'll have you back someday.
He won't. There's lots of money.
You're bad.
Good night.
No.
Right, see you later.
Bye bye.
Yeah, it's